Welcome to Spirit Baby Radio. I am your host, Kelly Meehan, a citizen of the universe and a passage keeper and mentor for our new Earth children. I believe we are entering into a new psychic structure of our reality, and it is meant to embody deeper trust and ways into solid self-love and fearless integrity. Our new world energy of spirit babies needs us to consciously create within conception, trust pregnancy, and have freedom to birth and parent from innate wisdom. This is Spirit Baby Radio. Welcome to episode 195, August 23rd, 2024. The physical, emotional, and energetic support of sperm health for conception. What is going on with sperm? Why are so many men having issues? What is the spiritual meaning? And what do spirit babies want to say? So this episode is really encouraged by recent inquiry, actually. I've always had inquiries about not just, of course, the feminine being, the womb holder, the uterus, but if you are in partnership, even if you're not in partnership, maybe you have a sperm donation. Sperm is important. It is a part of the conception experience and creation. And I've talked about sperm health before, but I wanted to just focus more on the energy of sperm and what the partner's energy is involved with in this. And what I've seen personally through sessions, through the energetic anatomy of the masculine, and also what spirit baby beings have shared. And maybe you're somebody that's questioning, why isn't anybody talking about the spiritual energetic connection to sperm? I feel like there may be people out there, and if you know somebody, please connect them with me. I'd love to have them on Spirit Baby Radio. I've been putting out my feelers and energy around it because what we see around sperm health, which is very beneficial, of course, are the more physical vitamins, exercise supplements, or some kinds of interventions, right? But we don't see or read, or I have not come across anything that talks about that more energetic anatomy of that connection with the masculine and his production of sperm. How are they, getting their vitality? Is the sperm mobility low? Are they odd-shaped sperm? I know I'm probably not naming the disorders right, but they're misshapen sperm. And so what if you have, misshapen sperm and they're not swimming up quick enough or properly, they're just kind of tired, right? This is what we hear, low mobility, and that is a really big one. And I would say in 2021, and maybe because of the pandemic, was a huge world stress, right? And even if you weren't sure where your stress level was, the world is a lot of energy. A lot of people are in stress of pandemic energy, right? It was very stressful and very curious, and we feel each other. We're not separate from each other. And so what are we creating in this conscious web of fear and release and surrender into the healing and the power that then we get to be evolved into? And so what I've been seeing is, especially in 2021, and there's a lot of theories and ideas about that, right? Like, why has the sperm become more infertile? I don't know if that's true for everybody. Why, is it the stress? Is it the EMFs, the technology? As I was always told, a lot of fertility specialists say, do not keep telephones in your back pocket. Don't keep them next to your lower body, especially if you want your sperm to be healthy, and use a Faraday bag, keep them separate. The energy of the phone, the technology, the laptop on the lap if you are somebody that wants high level good sperm health, right? And remember, EMFs is an electromagnetic field. It's a currency, it's energy. And a really good example of this was really cool. Probably a year or two ago, I was hiking in the creek and we had a little metal detector with my son. It's like a little, it was a real metal detector. It was pretty cool. And we still have it somewhere. And I had my phone in my pocket, and the metal detector started going crazy. It was like, boop, boop. I was like, that's weird. Like, what are we doing? And then my phone rang. And really what it taught me then is what kind of energy is being given out. And that even the phone wasn't even ringing yet. Whatever was happening, it was picking up, signals, and that's very powerful. We have to remember that. And it's not about getting obsessive about it, but we are in a time where that did not exist before. And I'm wondering often, do we notice more infertility with male factor, or is it now we have social media and we get to actually have the larger conversations, because infertility has existed, I feel like, since the beginning of time. And I think through history, you can actually see the historical data. And some would say we have more infertility, but I cannot quote any data on that, because I feel like we also haven't been, what are we, 7 billion people in the world now? 100 years ago, it maybe wasn't that crowded. So there's so many factors in that. I'm not sure. But what I do know is the individual journey, right? Where is the male? Where is their sperm? What is this connection of sperm embodiment, even we can say, right? Where is the sperm embodiment? And when I've seen throughout the years, going back to 2021, yes, having the medical rollouts, of course, I can't say the name. I need to be conscious of that. Of course, that's going to create a rift in the health, right? When there's scientific experiments happening and DNA is being changed, of course, that's going to create a rift. And it's not about shaming people or holding your own regret, but it is going to impact your fertility depending on your frequency and what your body's ability to detox and also, again, move through that energy. So, stress, over intervention, environmental toxicities, it's really hard. How do you then have rejuvenating, vital sperm? And I know there's a lot of holistic interventions. Acupuncture is amazing for both the woman and the male in fertility, not infertility. So there's, these different things that can be very impactful for sperm health. And so again, what's going on with sperm? There's so many different ways about that. And what I've seen in the sperm anatomy is I can see, using my connection, to scan through the sacral field, the lower male reproduction or lower body reproduction of even testicles and vas deferens and how the sperm move. I can really tune into those different parts, like where's the denser energy? How does it move? Is there an issue? And I don't typically go in and scan unless I have a male client, right? I'm not scanning if I have a female client, I'm scanning her own body. But if his energy comes up, and let's say I do get couples, and a lot of times the women will come and maybe the husbands come later or not at all. But I do get information if it's really important, not just from my own and energetic kind of look. When in sessions, when women are talking about their partners, I start to get information because I actually don't have to see the people, right? I can feel the energy through the person. And I've mastered that many, many years ago. I started to notice that. And that's why I can pick up children without actually talking to the children, earth children I'm talking about that are here. Why I could talk to babies. It doesn't matter if you're in person or not, even though the energy carries a different sense. And in the energetic space of the session, also baby, and I'll talk about that, babies come up too. Babies come up and talk about sperm, and I pay attention to that. That feels really important. And so when I talk about the anatomy of the sperm, let's say I'm scanning through and there's denser energy, or I'm noticing, oh, there's something off with the sperm. What is that? Usually I get confirmation from the individual, like the woman saying, oh yeah, no, there is something wrong, or or they may say, I'm not really sure. Oh, I hate to cough. Get some of that. And in those private spaces together, there are ways. And what I see, here's the thing, what I see is the energetic connection, right? And that means that when I see a high level of a sperm issue where maybe they're incompatible with this world, that to me is an energetic lineage. And it starts before. It starts before. And what that means is it starts in the energy of that lineage on your partner's side, where his connection to his mother, his father, and it could go back generations. And I can see sometimes emotional things that have to be worked on and come through. But does that mean, okay, Kelly, I'm doing the emotional work? Does that mean now my sperm will be okay? It may or may not. And that's the hard part because when we have deep diagnosis and emotional and rifts in that lineage, they can be quite intense to clear that toxicity. And this is why I feel like sperm donation is really great. There are healthy new lineages that want to be formed. And I know there's a heart to heart and grieving experience that partners have to go through when they have to really release and receive donated sperm, or when you have to release and receive even an embryo with donated sperm. It's, there's deep work around that. But yet, babies want to come through donated sperm. Babies want to come through embryos and vessels that have a certain lineage. It doesn't make it less of your partners, but there's a deep story. And I feel like with our partners, it's like you're going to force them into changing something that may not be even changeable. And I'm not going to say not to go try, do supplements, exercise, get that healthy, energetic sperm, but do the emotional work. I know men love that one, right? There's a certain kind of male I feel like that does that emotional work. And oh, there goes my necklace. And it's okay. It's wherever you're at. It's whatever your connection is. It doesn't have to be a certain way. And you have to embrace it and be in love and feed the sperm, feed that masculine portal with joy and connections. And male energies, it's very challenging. I know that there's so much energy that the patriarchy runs the world. Well, there is a truth to that, but also there's a high level of stress for the masculine and what their purpose is in the world and how they're anchoring the warrior. There's a certain, energy that there's meant to be a part of, but there's also this empathic, emotional, psychic part that we don't get to embrace a lot. And I only see that often in times with certain partnerships. And we want to embrace the whole beauty of all parts. And it's not about making your partner into something of yourself, because I always say the feminine is the psychic emotional muse. So it feels so natural. But partners, accountability and communication and togetherness is important. And the work that they do, that's not a part of you. That's maybe even outside of you towards the journey of bringing in a family together. And other things I've seen in private sessions. So, Spirit Baby, let's talk about that. Spirit Baby, oftentimes, if there's an issue with dad's energy, the male energy in this kind of partnership, I will be told something's wrong with the sperm. So then I say to the wife or the fiance, girlfriend, what's going on with the sperm? Because I can't ignore that baby wants to bring this up. So I get two perspectives of it. I get my own energetic anatomy kind of scan. And I also will be like, well, baby, you tell me, because I really trust the children. They know how and what's happening to come and to be born. And sometimes you may not know, like, oh my gosh, I know so many women that would go years and not want to check the sperm. They were scared to like get their partner to go to fertility specialists, and other times okay. And then they found that there was sperm issues for years. And I know it feels so self-sabotaging or defeating, but you also have to then just release it and go, at least you know now, what kind of energy can we build, and then move forward together. So then you can move into creation in a way that seems like it's working for everybody. So Spirit Baby has shared many times in certain ways, showing me little visuals, actually saying things and phrases. And then when baby says that, I go, oh, let's look at that together. And then I'll kind of move into the scanning a little bit of father's energy, and if he's not in the space. And I've heard stories like when I get to sit with men on men sessions, there's a process that the male has to go through, and then the energy of the sperm is a part of that. And um, I do support males in this journey, and I want not a majority, it's not a high percentage, and in couples I do, but I feel like it's really important because you get to have this kind of connection. And I know people get scared, like, what is, I feel like I ground the information in a solid way to speak to the masculine mind and the energy and how to keep processing and receiving how your own child will even be in communication with you on this journey, and how you can continue to feed and elevate around that sperm energy. Again, there's not a one size fits all approach for everybody. Everybody's sperm journey and their own health is going to be different, just like the uterus is in reproduction, right? Something to be, keep in mind. And maybe you've gone to fertility experts and specialists and it feels like overdone, or maybe you get energy around that the sperm is completely healthy and ready to go. Sometimes that's true, sometimes it's not true. And of course, remember the male has an endocrine hormonal system too. And what are the other pieces to that coming together, right? What are the other parts to that? And let me see what else I have here. And as I was saying, connected to a lineage, I think I mentioned that, and that's a whole other piece to the experience for the individual and to the gentle layers of it, I'd say. And most people already are, because that's why you're here. You're here to clear the lineage, that you wouldn't be here on Earth if you're not a part of that story cleaning right now. And as I even said, as your body's preparing, like maybe you're both in conception and you're preparing the space, and how valuable is that you're preparing the energy. And I've seen it happen in so many different ways. There's not one way to, we'll call it the conception portal, to make it so you have, your physical, emotional, spiritual, energetic availability so you can expand more into however that works for you. And something to sit with, be curious about, see your openness of your partner's connection. And maybe I'll even, if this is an inspired episode, I will make more information about it, and I'll do some deeper research to see what other people are saying, especially other men. What are other spiritual men saying, or other doctors that work within the energetic, emotional, somatic spaces? Because I do feel like when our nervous system is in regulation and we're listening to the release of our body. So imagine, just like the uterus and the ovaries, they can get tight. And then what would a tight energy do in your pelvic floor? That would, stifle your eggs, your follicles from growing. And there's so many different parts. We don't look at the physiology that much, and the emotional, energetic physiology. Our bodies are in tension, sometimes perpetually, and we have to move in and out of that. And I can just imagine, there are times where maybe the testicles are more tighter or up or pushed in the body, and the body's ability to release and find its own balance can be quite challenging. Yet I do feel like, just like the uterus, I feel like sperm is very powerful. It's very durable. It fights its way to win the journey, because its genetic makeup is made to find its most precious reward of egg, right? And I know it's a little different when we talk about like embryos, right? It's like there's a different head start that gets to happen. But yet, sperm, to me, even energetically, as I tune into it, it changes so much. It reminds me of the organ of the thyroid. It changes all the time. And that's actually a really great thing, because your energy is not going to be one way, but they can be patterns, right? You can have chronic patterns where the sperm is just in a state of unhealth or toxicity, and you have to then do a whole reboot to clear and cleanse the space. And again, I do encourage male sessions, fathers to be, to come and be open to sit in the space and really kind of look, because it's not just me looking and giving you information. I feel like we all carry a frequency of healing and wellness. And when we're connecting in that frequency, we have an ability to expand and release and surrender the things that aren't serving. And I love to connect dads with their spirit baby daughters and sons, to then keep seeing what is that psychic connection that you have together that is your own. It's not someone else's. And then as partnerships, you can come together in those ways as well. And you don't have to be in some religious spirit baby practice unless you want to be. There's no rules about it. Your baby being hears you. And so if you are tuning in as a partner to your couple, or if you're a masculine, male father energy listening in, is be okay with being one-sided. Like, hello, my baby beings, I'm here and I'm ready. Like, done. Like, we don't have to make this so complicated. But if you want to do deeper work, I actually really feel like sound therapy is good for sperm health, vibrational tones. You can even do visualizations if you're feeling like your sperm is unhappy or sad, is how I would say it. Because why isn't it traveling? What is the exhaustion, the emotional exhaustion, the stress? It really comes back to stress. And what creates the vitality? What creates joy? Can you then breathe in the joy into your scrotum? Bring the joy down into your penis. Bring the joy. I know that sounds kind of sexual, right? It's like bring the joy of energy of just listening to your lower body, like having the sperm as they're coming through. Are they just electrified with light? And how is your body relaxing? And just pay attention to your own center of your sacral, your lower body. And so I feel like there's many different parts to this. You're doing, different things, and even light therapies and energetic balancing of frequencies. I do feel like we can de-stress the sperm or create less of friction between where the fertile world gets to come into. And again, email me at spiritbabymedium@gmail.com if you're curious, or if you have somebody that's like, hey, let's talk more deeper. Let's have a deeper conversation about where this energy of sperm health is and the malfactor is what they call it, right, with infertility. But then how do you continue to build the power and energy of healing around diagnoses that may feel discouraging or confusing or unknown? And I feel like it plays in both areas for the feminine and the masculine with fertility and what I've seen throughout the years. And I hope this episode inspires you if you are on this coupled journey of your own fertile goodness and your own spiritual fertile healing. And come check out, of course, as always, newearthchildren.com. There's a lot happening. The book is going to be out at any moment. Notes from a Spirit Baby, everything you need to know about Spirit Baby communication. I do have a little chapter on couples and even couple meditation included with a QR code. It's very exciting. And you're going to keep on an eyes on that because that is for you. It is geared towards the mother, the feminine, but it is open for anybody that wants to do Spirit Baby communication and your natural instincts of it, become a master at it. Come check out, I want to say sessions, which are changing a little bit. Come get sessions, programs, other events, upcomings. And I want to thank you for joining the physical, emotional, and energetic support of sperm health for conception, episode 194. Thank you for joining Spirit Baby Radio with your host, me, Kelly Meehan. Please join my community and stay in touch with monthly energy rants, Spirit Baby poetry, and get access to Spirit Baby 101 with tips and practices at my newsletter at newearthchildren.com. And join me on Instagram with lives at Spirit Baby Medium, and join the Mighty Networks, the Spirit Baby Collective membership, and Motherhood to Mediumship. Remember, you are the heart that holds communication, and it is your time to connect. Come share in the great shift of your mind and the true spirit of your heart with Spirit Baby Communication.